guys, welcome back to Open Up with Angel B. And this week I'm joined by Sapphyre Blu.
Hey everyone.
Ohio-born, LA-based country soul singer-songwriter whose powerhouse vocals and heartfelt storytelling are making waves worldwide. Known for empowering message of self-love, Sapphyre has toured independently, worked with Grammy-nominated producers, and even landed features on BET's hit series The Family Business. With her rising single, Burn Me, taking over country radios, her performance light up stage that she quickly becoming a name to know. Behind the scenes in the music, she's a woman of faith, resilience, and lessons learned on her journey. Yeah. And today we're going to talk about all of that. Thank you so much for coming.
What a beautiful introduction.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
No, yeah, so I'm excited that you're here. We know each other for a while.
Yes.
Yes, I'm excited for you and everything coming. So, we have something in the show. We always take a shot.
Okay.
What is a ginger shot? We healthy.
Okay. Healthy. We're healthy.
So, yeah, let's do it. This is for you. Cheers.
Cheers to success, happiness, and health.
Ooh, so we can open up.
Very spicy.
Yes. Ginger, lemon, and cayenne pepper, I think. Yes. Okay, so what song would it describe your life right now?
Crazy by Gnarls Barkley.
Yes.
I just feel like life is so just everywhere right now. And I'm just in that space of, remembering who I was, but transitioning to someone different and still not really even knowing who that person is. But, just having my mind open and my heart open to embrace, who I'm becoming,
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. I was not planning to talk about that right now, but I want to ask you if that change you think has to do with you losing your father too, because I know we have similar stories. Last year was a really hard year for both of us.
Yes,
was right one of the other, and I felt that way. Like, who am I? Like, it's so weird, and you think it that is something that
it definitely, pushed me to drive more, to live, and to live authentically and unapologetically. I know I was just like, in a place before my father passed, I feel like I was more so holding back a little bit, and always kind of living. Well, we always say you need to be a little delusional, but I feel like I was a little too delusional, always just kind of like waiting for everything to be just set up just right. It has to be like this, it has to be like that, and then I can do this. And I used to even have that same situation with my dad because I grew up, he wasn't in my life. So, I always was like, one day we're going to have our relationship. One day we're going to do this. One day it's going to be picture perfect. I'll wait until I have this and that and I can come with this. And, he won't deny me and all these different things, And when he passed, all of those, dreams, I guess, that I had of this, grand reunion just was out the door. And it just let me, realize to stop waiting because you never know what will happen the next day. So if you live each day like it could be your last, you'll live a life more fulfilled. And I'm doing that for me. I'm doing that for my father. I also lost my brother last year as well. So it's just been a lot of things like that that's been really driving me to live and follow my dreams and 100% go after them. Bars hold.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about your brother too.
Thank you.
You guys were speaking when that happened?
Yeah, we just started speaking again. A few years prior, I had went to Ohio and was able to, meet him. And, we've met before, of course. It's just he wasn't constant in my life, I would say. So I went there and visited him. We had a fun time actually in the studio. I have some younger brothers through him, and they're into music. They rap and stuff like that. So we were in the music studio and making music, and then I found out my dad sings. So it was cool to kind of find out kind of where I get the talent from and all of that. And he's quite the local celebrity in, his part of the world over there in Ohio. So it was just like an eye-opening thing, especially when I went to the funeral. Just learned so much about him, and they called him like the John P. Key in Ohio, so he was just definitely into the gospel music industry and doing his thing there. So that was nice and cool to find out.
I'm sure that he's still in you.
Yes.
And how was growing up in Ohio? Like, how was your
Ohio childhood? Much slower, what I can remember, because I know I moved to California like middle school, so just growing up in Ohio, all I can remember is fields and running around and catching fireflies with my friends and staying out till the street lights come on and just having a good time. A lot of community, snow, things like that. That's mostly what I remember about it.
Mm-hmm. And your mom was a single mom, or
yes.
they split while you were growing up?
She was a single mom, yeah. They split like shortly after I was born. And so, she raised me, and then early in my life, my grandmother and great-grandmother raised me, and then my mom came back into my life later in the years, and, I was with her ever since then.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And all those hard moments,
mm-hmm.
Because it's hard, not having your father, do you think that affected you, like, growing up? Like,
it
what?
Did. It mostly affected me like later on in life, because up until about 10 years old, I was seeing my dad every summer. So I remember going to Mansfield, that's where he's from, and having those summers with him and my step siblings and all of that, and that was always a lot of fun. I always looked forward to that. And then from like 10 to adulthood, I just didn't see him anymore and things like that. So we just kind of distanced from that point.
Mm-hmm. Did you feel that affected your relationships with the man, like a lot of relationships?
It definitely did, and I've actually uncovered more of that since his passing. That I found myself a lot of times in relationships feeling like trying to prove my worth, and that I'm as great as I know I am. You should know too. And now, I just really gotten rid of that, and I've had a lot more success, I feel, with relationships since then. But before, yeah, definitely, like, tragically, like, just trying to show that I'm, the best choice and things like that. I think we all kind of go through that sometimes, especially as hard as dating is these days. But now I know that I set that standard, and you just need to meet me there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Amazing. I love that. And when did you realize, like, that you wanted to be a singer?
I feel like I've always known since a little kid. Like, my mom would tell me stories of me being like a toddler in the hospital, because I had asthma really bad when I was a kid, so I was in and out the hospital. And she just told me of this story one time. She was looking for me in the middle of the night, and she couldn't find me. She was running around panically through the halls of the hospital, and she heard music, and she's like, I know where you are. And she said I was there, like, entertaining and singing for the nurses and doctors. They were just clapping, and she's like, you just always been that way, just wanted to entertain people still in the crowd. So I feel like it's always been in my heart, for sure.
But there's a moment that you were like, was there a moment that you like, okay, I'm gonna follow this path?
Yeah, to be honest, like I said, I've always been into music. I always loved performing. I always was in like choirs in church and school and all of that. But what really was a turning point for me, where I decided to be an artist instead of just doing music because I loved it, I was at an open mic with one of my friends, and I used to sing background for a lot of people at this time. So a lot of different gospel artists locally in the Bay Area and stuff like that, I was singing background, and I was always comfortable in the background because I still got to go on stage, I still got to tour, I still got to do the things, but I didn't have to be out front. So it was just a place of comfort for me. And a lot of my singing friends, we would go to the open mics and stuff like that, but I would never sing because I was just too nervous. So this particular friend called themselves trying to basically embarrass me, we'll say that. And, they signed me up for this open mic, and we're just sitting there, and all of a sudden I hear people calling me my true name Ariel. At that time I wasn't going by Sapphyre, and they're like, Ariel to the stage. And I'm like, who else in here is named Ariel, right? I'm just looking around, and then he's sitting there just laughing. And I was just like, what? You know what? This is the day where I'm not going to be played with anymore. I'm tired of people making fun of me and, you know, all this stuff. So I went up there and I told the band what I was going to sing. And, I mean, I killed it. And after that, I was just booked. Like, people were booking me for parties, to come and host, you know, clubs and things like that. So it just took off from there. And it's just what I've been doing ever since.
Amazing. And that was in Ohio?
No, that was actually in Sacramento, California.
Okay, so you moved from Ohio
to Sacramento in 7th grade, yeah.
Oh, okay. So family can be a source of strength or challenge, like when pursuing our dreams. How was your play a role in your journey?
My mom's always been my biggest cheerleader. She's always been supportive. If she couldn't be there personally, she always would help me any way she could financially. You know, she's always just, you know, giving me constructive criticism. You know, I would call her my momager back in the day, you know. She's always going to tell me, oh, you should do it this way. And she's, you know, taught me things like it's important to tell a story when you're singing the song and, you know, different things like that I've kept until this day. She's been very instrumental.
Yes, and your grandmas too, like, were they supportive?
My grandmother, not as much. You know, my grandmother, I feel like, is a little more old school. You know, for her, it was just like, oh, that's fun that you want to do that, but what else are you going to do with your life? You know, you know, are you going to be a doctor? You know, that was our thing. I was really into academics and things in school. So, you know, at one point I thought I was going to be a marine biologist. And different stuff like that. So, you know, she was more in that path for me. But now she's super supportive. She sees that, you know, I, you know, stuck it out for all this time, and she sees, you know, things transitioning and happening for me. So she's very excited.
Nice. Nice. I love family. It's everything.
They are everything.
Yeah.
Where would we be?
You describe your music as carrying a message of self-love. Where did that message begin for you personally?
Personally, it was just something I wanted to do as a singer, and having a platform was to just convey empowering people to just love themselves, to be okay with being themselves, not trying to compare themselves to other people, and just being really confident in who you are. So I just kind of carry that swag with me everywhere I go, and also in my music. I'm always kind of, you know, talking my stuff, but, you know, in a way where people can sing it and feel like it's also them speaking, you know.
And you always felt that way? Or was a moment that, you know, sometimes we sing, we like have some message, but deep down we're still working through those insecurities? Or you always felt like, no?
Yeah, I felt like I always felt like that. People always told me like how much I inspired them and made them feel more confident in themselves and things like that in my personal life. And so I just kind of carried that into my music, and just hoping that, you know, people can feel that. A lot of times when I'm on stage and I get off, people say, you know, even though we're not at church, for some reason I felt like my spirit was moved or something, you know, and that's what I aim for. You know, I want people's life to be changed.
You have an amazing voice, guys. You guys gotta go check it out. Like, it's amazing. What gave you courage to move to LA?
Well, you know, I was just at a point where I had been to Atlanta. I went and did Texas, Virginia. I just was moving around, and I said, you know, it's time to go to LA. And coincidentally enough, I was here back in 2014 for The Voice. I was here for like 2 weeks, and during that time, I was just kind of walking Hollywood Boulevard, looking at the stars. I kind of saw a couple of things, and I just was like loving the energy out here. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to move out here in 2018, and I'm going to live in North Hollywood, because my cousin, she lived in North Hollywood, and that's where I was staying. And I was just like, I love it. I just need to come here. And so coincidentally, that's when I moved here, and I moved to North Hollywood, and I forgot all about that until I was actually walking down that same street one day, and I was like, I remember when I was out here back in 2014, and I said I was going to move here. Look at this. And it just goes to show just how much faith and, you know, speaking things into existence, but actually putting action behind it. It all just works together. So that was very exciting for me, and a turning point that really catapulted me to really have more faith in what I was doing and to speak more positively about what I wanted.
Yeah, be clear about it. They say, yeah, be specific and clear about and make it happen. There's any misconception about LA before moving here that when you got here, you're like, oh, actually?
Yeah, my mom, she lived here when she was younger. And so when she would talk about LA and she would just be like, I'm so afraid for you to live there. It's just so wild and people do this and people do that. And after being like in Atlanta where people would say the same thing, and after being in Texas and, Houston and everything like that, I just kind of noticed everything is what you make it. And you create your own environment wherever you're at. It just depends on what you attract, the people that you bring into your circle and the energy you emit. So I came here and doing that, and I just been here a while, and I've hadn't had any of the troubles that most people talk about. So I'm grateful for that for sure.
Yeah, you focus for sure. Yeah. What is your sign?
I'm a Virgo.
I was like, I knew it was like Virgo or Libra.
I'm a Virgo. September 10th just passed. Yeah.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
My mom is Virgo.
Oh, so you already know.
Yeah, in Tokara, one of my best friends.
Oh, yes, definitely, yes. I love her.
Yeah.
She's definitely a Virgo.
Yeah. She want like everything correct to
yes,
do it.
Everything listed down, check the I's and cross the T's.
Yeah. You have mentors and collaborators along the way. What's the most powerful lesson you learned from them?
My most powerful lesson is very important to know, what you're connecting to. Everything you shouldn't connect to just because it's an opportunity. And sometimes you also have to connect to things that you might not necessarily be in your wheelhouse, but it can be a blessing for you. So it's just about using discernment. Mm-hmm. Using discernment is really big and important in that.
It's important. Mm-hmm. Have you always done country soul? Or you've done like different
No,
I've
done different genres. I started off definitely as a neo soul singer. I transitioned into like punk rock. Just kind of always trying my own thing. I've always kind of just created my own wave. And I moved into country about 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. It was before, it got real popular and it was a thing. But it was just me wanting to express as an artist that I could do anything that I put my mind to. Mm-hmm. And I just resonated with country music so much because I grew up on country music. My mom, born and raised in Nashville. My great-grandmother, that's all she listened to was Garth Brooks, Reba McEntire when I was growing up. So I always had it in my ear. I didn't gravitate to it as quickly back then, but it just was always in my mind and my subconscious. And so I would write songs sometimes, and I didn't know that it was actually country. I used to think it was like a soft rock or something like that. And one day I was in the studio with some producers. They were working with a country artist, and I was like, hey, I write stuff like this all the time. That's crazy. So I let them hear a song that I wrote, and they were like, wow, this is like good. Like, maybe this is where you should be. This is your lane. And, I just fell in love with it even deeper. The storytelling, just all those parts of just talking about life and keeping things light. That's what I like about it.
No, your voice, if it's perfectly like,
thank you so much.
Yeah, it's so amazing. It was a perfect match.
Thank you.
That's you.
Yeah, it feels like it. It's like for the first time, I feel like I found my wheelhouse. That's why I guess I tried so many different things, because I just kind of felt like I could be a chameleon and I could do this and that. But this is just something that feels right. And I feel like I can do it for the rest of my life and not feel bored, not feel like I can't, get better and, show a different side, still doing the same genre. So I'm excited about it for sure.
Yes, I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
I think we all go through that, right? Like we always try different genres.
Yeah.
And until we like, okay, this is what I'm gonna stick to it.
And that's what you have to do. You need to try things in order to find out who you are. Mm-hmm. So I definitely feel like artists, that's a journey for most of us.
Yes. Yeah. Your single Burn Me is rising on the charts. What's the deeper story or emotion behind that song?
Well, this story was about everything I write, first of all, comes from some type of personal experience, whether it's something I'm personally going through at the time or something I've been through before, or maybe a close friend or something, you know. So I draw to that to, you know, bring about the relatability, you know, for the listener. But this was mostly about someone that I just really had a crush on. And I felt like every time we like connected intimately, even if it was just hanging out, it just felt like I was always like hot, you know, that attraction you have for someone. And it wasn't just like physical or sexual. I was attracted to their mind and just all these different things. And I just, you know, wrote this song one day. You know, I was looking to write and I saw this, you know, beat, and the producer had named it Dusk. And sometimes I do, you know, draw off of what the name of the beat could be to, you know, gather the lyrics or what the song is going to be about. So I was like, dusk when the sun goes down. And that's when the first, like, you know, line came out. Something about when the sun goes down makes me think of you. Makes me lose my breath when you go down south and you do the things you do. So I was like, you know, just started playing off of that, and it came quick. And now it's a hit. So.
I love it. I love it. Everybody go check it out.
Burn me.
You have heard that voice, right? So how do faith and spirituality guide you in the moments of doubts and setbacks?
I mean, it's all I cling to, really. You can't do anything without faith, you know, especially now. When the times we're living in, everything is so chaotic. Everybody's so hard. There's so much hate going around. And if you don't have any faith, it can seem very bleak and it can feel like it could be the end, you know, and it could be scary. But my faith is what drives me into knowing that I'm going to be okay, that things are happening for me, not to me, and that, you know, my dreams are coming true and will come true. I think faith kind of gives us a superpower to kind of have our own world in the midst of chaos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uncertainty.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was like, the devil tried to kill me.
We rebuke him in the name of Jesus.
Yes, I was like from nowhere, something in my throat. Like, what is that? What the heck? And what do you do when you like feel overwhelmed? There's something you go to, like you.
Well, I'll take a moment to just really exclude myself from everybody and everything. I'll listen to like meditation music, just do deep breathing, meditation. You know, I'll maybe listen to some of my favorite music and just get lost in the lyrics and stuff like that. Sometimes I go to the beach, which is like my therapy, just sitting by the water and just listening, just in quiet and just listening to whatever God has to talk to me about. You know, I feel like the ocean is the most powerful place. You know, it's the edge of the world, and it just really feels like the world is right at your feet and so much possibilities. And I just kind of let the things that are worrying me to go in and out with the waves. And then by the time I leave, I just feel back to normal and excited and happy. And so that's what I do usually.
Yes, ocean is refreshing.
Yes.
Like, it's my go-to.
Yes.
Be by the water. And what's being authentic means for you?
You said, I'm sorry?
What being authentic means for you?
Authentic. It's everything, you know. I feel like people really, especially nowadays, can really see through the crap, you know. People want to relate and they want to know who you really are. And some of the biggest artists now are there because they're authentic. People just really vibe with who they are as a person. They see themselves in them. And so I feel like as an artist or anybody that just has a brand, period, not even if it's an artist, it's just something that you a brand, a business, it's important to show authenticity so that people can feel like, you know, they can have you right there in their home.
Yes. That's why we're doing this.
That's why we're doing it.
Open Up, because that's my idea. Because we know so many talent artists. Yeah. And sometimes we get caught up just posting the music video, the songs, and like just the red carpet, the nice stuff. And then I'm like, but we need to talk real stuff so people can really know us.
Yeah.
And in a way that is authentic, that it's natural.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like forced.
Yes.
So, yes, I'm glad that you're here so people can know a little bit more about you.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
And looking back, there's what challenge that you felt like a setback but actually became a blessing? There's anything that happened that you like at the moment you couldn't see that, but was the best thing that happened?
Yeah, when I first moved here 8 years ago, I was with someone, you know. My ex, he was my producer. He was helping me with all my stage stuff. So, you know, he was just a lot of help for what I was doing. And once we broke up, he decided to erase all of my music, which is why I am now doing this. So that's why I said that was a perfect segue into how that became a blessing, because I was devastated at first. And for a while, I was trying to figure it out. And I was trying, you know, R&B and all the things, trying to just kind of keep up the wave. I tried rap a little bit, you know, just trying to figure out where can I fit in for what's going on now that I don't have my sound and music that I had with him. And I was feeling lost for a while, but, you know, through that guidance and prayer and meditation, like we said, because it was actually after I did this, they said ancestral meditation. I had this mentor. Her name was Cleo. She passed. But before, she was kind of going through her sickness and stuff. She asked us to do this ancestral meditation with her. And so we did. And through that, I, you know, saw my great grandmother and different stuff like that, which ended up bringing into the country music, because that's where I even was introduced to country music, was through my great grandmother. So, you know, that all thing just kind of worked together for the good for me.
Oh, I'm glad. But I'm sorry, because
Yeah.
I didn't know that happened to you, but I know many other girls that that has happened, and I think it sucked. Like,
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, I always tell, like, interviews or like, stay away from the producers, girls. Like, if you do music, like, I never dated a producer that I work on now. And I always had that in mind, because I was like, I cannot give this power, right, for the person. Because then when you in love, you're not thinking. You think, okay, we are a team. We're doing this together. And then some shit happens, and it's like, like, you don't have your music. Like, they're not mature enough. It's just messed up. Like,
and it's so coincidental that we didn't actually connect over music. I mean, we connect over just dating, you know, and he just happened to live like long distance. And then, you know, I moved to Atlanta from, you know, Sacramento to where he was. And, you know, we just had a relationship, but he also just ended up being in music, you know, from being in church and stuff like that. So he just started producing for me. Like, we kind of just, something we developed together in our relationship, which was like even more sucky for me, because I'm like, okay, we kind of developed this together. We really working together to build something, you know. And for me, us not being together in a relationship does not mean that we can't be friends, we can't be cool, because it wasn't anything like that. It's just that we didn't work together. You know, you have other things you want to do, and that's fine. But we could have kept the working relationship if he had not done that. But now and it's even, like, you sour it.
Even if he didn't want to be your producer anymore, but give you the tracks and get whatever credits and, you know, be involved in another way, like, man up. Yeah. Being an adult. Like, I hate that. Like, every session that I go, I come with my hard drive. Soon as the session is done, save here my session, my tracks. And they're like, oh, you own your shit? I'm like, yes.
Yeah, well, you know, he actually erased it out my own personal computer when I was at work. So that's what happened with that.
Oh my
God. Yeah.
Oh shit. I would have been in jail. Like,
you know, what I just did was decided that was the final straw to just really know I was making the right decision and leaving. And I don't regret it. I mean, the music now that I'm making is so much better. I relate so much more to it. And like I said, I'm taking over country charts right now. Right now, I'm the only African-American woman on the country charts, which is, for me, a big deal. It's history, you know, and I wouldn't have even been able to have any of this going on if it wasn't for that. So I actually thank him. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I had one producer that I worked, but it was the first song I ever did here. Some friend connected, and he gave me the track I just recorded. And when I needed the files, the stems to mix and everything, he's like, yo, I broke up with my girl. She deleted all my shit. I was like, oh.
It's so horrible. You know, people have to learn how to just separate business
Yeah.
and, you know, personal, because it's just not that serious ever.
Yes. And then you messing up someone's work. It's
Yeah.
just like, it's crazy.
And then that's your time wasted, because now something that you could have also made some kind of profit over, you just, for that moment of just heat, you decide to just throw it all away. So
Yeah.
that's on him.
Yeah, well, I hope people are evolving. What advice you would give to someone balancing their own dreams with family expectations and responsibilities that we all have?
The advice I would give is do it your way. Don't think that you have to compete. Don't think that it's a time limit. Life is literally what you make it, you know, and we live in the times now where it's even more true, because you really can control so much more of your access, so much more of your visibility, so much more of the information that you can have to further yourself. So, you know, don't rush, balance it, live life. You know, it's important, because like we just talked about earlier, you never know what can happen tomorrow, and then what do you have? You know, so you just want to make sure that your life is full of everything that you love.
Yes. Live your life. Enjoy every moment. Yeah. Yeah, remembering that it's just like we never know when the time is up. So just live. Work for your dreams.
Yeah.
Go after, but live your life too. Like balance. And where people can find you?
They can find me under Sapphyre Blu Music on IG, sapphireblu.com for everything Sapphyre Blu. I have, you know, any upcoming events and shows I might be at. I have merch on their music. So yeah, sapphireblu.com for sure.
Yes, go follow. She's amazing. Amazing voice.
Thank you so
So
much.
inspiring. I'm glad you came all the way here and
Thank
came out.
you.
Yes, and you hear my little space open up.
Okay, and you're so amazing as well. Such a great artist. I've been seeing you doing your thing, and now, you know, branching out with your podcast. I'm very proud of you. Like I said, I've known you probably since I've been here, about 8 years. And
Yes.
just watching you grow, it's just really been awesome too. So I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of you too.
Thank you.
We get in there, right?
We get in
like
there, yes.
step by step, we achieving our dreams. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching, and
Thank
go
you.
follow Sapphyre Blu. And I will see you next episode. Bye.
Later.
Hey guys, thank you for watching. This was Open Up with Angel B. I will bring a new guest every Tuesday, so don't forget to like, to share, and subscribe. You don't want to miss it. Thank you for my sponsors, Amplified Entertainment and Sacred Intimacy. And I see you guys next episode. Peace.